Hey everybody, welcome back to my Project 13. Thanks for coming on by and checking out the review of the Google Pixel 9a, my Project 13 style, which means it's not scripted. Everything that comes out of my mouth is going to be delivered as I think about what I'm going to say. Do feel free to skip forward throughout the video. That doesn't bother me. I would appreciate if you would watch all of it. Again, I don't know where it's going to go. I just want to share my experience on the Google Pixel 9a as far as what I like, what I don't like, and what I don't like is more personal preference. A lot of the information as far as my experience in conversation can be subjective. So we'll just go with that because, again, I don't have anything written down. It's just going to come out of my head, and then I'm just going to throw out that information. And what I would like from all of you at the end of it is to share your thoughts down below in the comments section. I want to start off with the price point, $599. This is 8 gig of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, not expandable. It's got Android 15. We got the Google Tensor G4 chipset. Again, the 256 gigs of storage, 8 gig of RAM. It's got a 5100 milliamp battery. Battery life is really, really good. I can throw up a few of the screenshots that I have as far as my time with the Google Pixel 9a and the battery life that I've gotten. I didn't have to charge during the day at any point in time to get through my day. And I do a lot. I do a lot on all of my smartphones. This device did create content. It did process and upload through the Power Director editing app. And while it was doing that, and the reason I'm talking about that is because that's probably the most intense area that I throw at my smartphones because, well, I'm not a gamer. Outside of that, I'm web browsing, listening to music, watching movies, videos, a little social media. But when I create content, I'm shooting video with the Google Pixel 9a, again, using the Power Director app to edit that video, and then I'm processing, uploading. And while that is happening, I am using the phone, whether that's texting, calling, web browsing, watching movies, videos, listening to music. Okay. So, no hiccups. It's been a very nice little powerhouse. Basically stock Android, a really well optimized experience, no overheating that I've experienced. On the back, we do have a 48 megapixel shooter and a 13 megapixel ultra wide shooter with a flash. Does not have a dedicated telephoto camera.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And that is a bummer for $599. That right there is a negative. What I don't like is the camera protruding out ever so slightly. It would have been better if that area would have been flush. I have a camera glass lens protector, which has been working great. It hasn't caused any issues when shooting video and taking pictures, which, by the way, is a huge thumbs up with the Google Pixel 9a. But having that area flush and then adding on a camera glass lens protector, in my opinion, would have looked a lot sleeker. I do like the plastic matte texture back. Does not feel hollow. Looks great, feels great. The aluminum black matte rail just gives this smartphone, the 9a, a really good look, except for that camera area. Now, why they did that, I don't know, because some of you don't use cases. And when setting down on a little bit of a rough surface, if you don't have a camera glass lens protector, that's going to scratch up that area. So that doesn't make any sense. Most of you do sport a case, but again, there are some of you that don't. And if I were you, I would definitely purchase a camera glass lens protector. On the front, you're going to get a 13 megapixel regular wide, ultra wide shooter. You're going to get 4K, 30 frames per second, 1080p, 30 and 60. On the rear, I didn't mention that you're going to get 4K 30 and 60, 1080p, 30, 60, 120, and 240 frames per second. electronic image stabilization, and optical image stabilization as well. As far as the fingerprint reader, it's freaking fast. It really, really is. Now, what I don't like, but somehow through magic visually disappears, is that bezel. There is a lot of bezel going on there. But when you're watching movies and videos, again, it just disappears visually. It's just, you don't notice that. Only when you're sitting and looking straight at your 9A do you see that bezel there. I just think at the price point at $499, $599 in 2025, you shouldn't have that much bezel on a mid-range smartphone. Just like that camera back there. Why don't we have a telephoto shooter? There's just some areas that don't make any sense to me. The island protruding out there, but it is a nice looking device. Could it have been better? Definitely. When you're paying that type of money and you look at what else is out there for less money, you should be getting a little bit more from Google. As far as what they're going to charge you, you can see that type of bezel being on a $200, $300, $400 smartphone. You can see why you wouldn't get a telephoto shooter on, again, a $200, $300, $400 smartphone. But when you start hitting that $500, $600 mark, that's where you start to question the choices that, as a company, Google makes when putting out a device like this in 2025. You're still going to get a beautiful, sharp display. 120 hertz refresh rate. It is flat, POLED display. So visually, when watching movies, I am very entertained. It's very crisp. It's very sharp. The colors are as accurate as they need to be. All that matters to me is how it looks, how the device performs visually. When I am web browsing, when I am doing a little social media, when I am watching media, the speakers sound great to go along with the display. So my media intake, as far as visibly and as far as the output of the audio and whatever it is that I'm being entertained with, that's all a huge thumbs up. I don't like the power button being above the volume rocker. I wish that that was reversed, or having the volume rocker over on the left-hand side. I'd rather have them separated, but power button down below, because I'm wanting to reach for the power button and hit it here and then reach up to hit the volume rocker up here, but that's reversed. Google has pretty much always done that. I don't remember when that was ever reversed. I'm sure they did have that reversed at some point. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just don't like this setup. So, yeah, it just getting used to reaching up for the power button up there is annoying to me. I want to jump back to the cameras as far as the front camera and the rear camera. Picture quality, video quality, definitely great. And you can go watch the videos where I'm shooting video in the evening and during the day. As a solo device, it's a huge thumbs up. The only phone that I have to compare to my Google Pixel 9a is my Nothing Phone 3a Pro. I paid under 500 smacks. I got a bigger device. Battery life is about the same, but when it comes to camera quality and video quality, in my opinion, it does better. There are some hit and misses. The misses are very minute, but for what I'm getting overall as a package when it comes to a smartphone under $500, I'm getting more RAM and more storage. I got 12 gigs of RAM with 256 gigs of storage, and it's a fluid powerhouse device. Every area that I've mentioned that is positive when it comes to performance and functionality with the 9A is the same with the Nothing Phone 3A Pro. And again, I paid less. Aesthetically, I mean, some of you either love or hate the circular camera island that is huge on the back of the Nothing Phone 3A. I love it. It doesn't rock. It's evenly, symmetrically on the back of the Nothing Phone 3A. You know, the thing is, from what I'm getting from the 3A Pro from Nothing in comparison to the Google Pixel 9a is much more. It really is. This right here is, in my opinion, a better device. Again, you can agree or disagree. As a standalone device, you're not going to be disappointed if aesthetically these areas that I've talked about doesn't bother you. If you love the size of this phone, the button layout, the bezel, the camera area there, if that doesn't bother you, then you're going to have a great experience. Nothing is still somewhat new to a lot of you. Pixel has been around for a long time. This is what you trust. This is where financially you go to. Some of you are Samsung, some of you are Apple. It just depends on what you like or don't like. You don't want to venture out, but there are better opportunities financially, and the experience is going to be a surprise to you. And you might say to yourself, well, why didn't I ever try something like a Nothing phone or a OnePlus phone, right? This is where you go. You're like, I could care less about all that stuff. I just want something that is going to be great when it comes to connectivity. It's got to have good cameras. It's got to have decent battery life. It's got to have a nice display. Speakers got to sound pretty decent. And you know, I do a little web browsing. I don't create content. I'm not a YouTuber. I play a little bit of games. Well, here you go. This is a thumbs up. Do it. Do it. Yes, it's worth it. My overall experience that I'm sharing with you would say, yes, it's worth it. But if you're like me and you're looking at more than just that, and I don't want to go over 500 smacks, well, this is where I'm going. So for those of you that are asking, that's the answer I'm going to give you. But this right here is going to get the job done and then some. What I'm going to do is go over to YouTube, going to play a pick comparison between the Nothing Phone 3a and the Google Pixel 9a, little short day pick video comparison, mainly so you can hear the music through the speakers, because these speakers are great.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
hopefully you enjoyed that little clip. Speakers sound great, in my opinion. It's a huge thumbs up. Hopefully you were looking at some of those pictures as well. The 3A and the Pixel 9A definitely going to give you some great pictures. If you were to ask me which one does it better, I would say the 3A Pro. It best represents the moment that I'm in visually, the environment that I'm in visually, the more real to life picture is what I'm getting from the 3A Pro in comparison to the Google Pixel 9A. And that's especially true when taking night shots. There's just too much light coming in to the picture, which takes away from the fact that you're still in the dark. Too much camera software help going on there. And as far as the 3A Pro, you get just enough light, just enough to realize that, hey, I'm still in the dark, but I can still see what's going on out there. I used to be into those type of pics where everything was just illuminated, man. But I started to realize after using OnePlus in the last few years and now the Nothing phone, that I really like still having that moment be more of what it is than not. And maybe I'm over explaining myself, but yeah, I would pick the 3A Pro. Now at the beginning of the video, I said this was a Google Pixel 9A review, and it is. And somehow along the way, I decided to make it not just the review for the 9A, but a comparison against the Nothing Phone 3A Pro. And I told you at the beginning, we'll see where this goes. That's just kind of the way I work. It don't mean for that to happen, but it does. But yeah, overall, and I've said this now a few times, you can't go wrong with the Google Pixel 9A as an individual device. It's a great device. There's just areas for me that they're not deal breakers, but it's just preferences. And I look at everything. I just do. I'm very detailed like that. Here, I'm just getting so much more for a lot less when it comes to my smacks.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Now, I didn't talk about AI. I don't really utilize AI. I do the circles of search, and really that's about it. Right now, where I'm at, AI is not that big of a deal, but for some of you, it may be. So yeah, obviously some areas I didn't cover because I didn't utilize some of the areas that the 9A has to offer. So with that, I'm going to end the video. If there's any questions on anything, please ask down below in the comments section. And I really, really do appreciate you coming on by and checking out this vid. It means a lot to me. By the way, Indiana Fever hat, just got it in today. Super stoked, getting ready for the season. And anyway, God bless, peace,